Hi guys, this is Fazan from Great Learning and welcome to today's session on JavaScript. We are going to create an application using JavaScript. So before we start, can you quickly guys write in the chat section if I'm audible or not? Just give me a yes, no, maybe in the chat section quickly. While we wait for others, Great Learning has come up with an initiative. We all know about it, right? The Great Learning Academy, wherein we have 100 plus courses available. Right now they are for free, but after some time then you have to pay it. Why not take it right now and go through those courses and whatever are the projects included in those courses, add them into your resumes and in your LinkedIn profiles, right? And whatever you after the completion of your course, you will also get the certification, which you can also include in your resumes and LinkedIn profiles, right? So great. As I can see from Pushkar, he says yes. Quickly others, yes you are. Okay, great. So now let's get started, guys. So this is what we are going to build. We are going to build a to-do list application. Okay, just like let's suppose you are planning to do some series of events, or let's suppose you are trying to do some kind of a work, right? Let's first you want to play cricket, then there's another thing that you want to do. You want to create your assignments, then after once you have created those assignments, you want to learn something new or watch a movie, anything, right? This is a kind of a list that you want to do, and now let's see how to build that using JavaScript. So basically in this session we are going to focus on something that is called jQuery. Okay, so we're going to I will let you guys introduce you to that portion of JavaScript, right? The jQuery is nothing but a library of JavaScript. I will let you guys know about it a little bit so that we can understand this session, and after the completion of this session, maybe in the next sessions we can cover those things, right? What maybe some bootstrap, and which is again a framework of CSS, and in another session maybe let's do some jQuery, which is again a library of JavaScript. Okay, now let's get started. So let's see the table of content of today's session. First we are going to build our HTML file, right? We need to have HTML, CSS and some JavaScript. We are going to do that. JavaScript will be jQuery. Okay, so let's get started. So first we are going to build an HTML file. Then we are going to see output of the HTML file. Then what is the jQuery, ways of including jQuery, then input file, right? It is everything is related, so don't get confused. What is an input file? I will cover each and everything in this session. Okay, then we are going to see our final HTML file, final CSS file and final JS file. Okay, so this is the whole agenda or the table of content of today's session. We will follow one step by step. Each and every step will, wherever you have confusion, let me know in the chat section. Okay, great. So now let's see first our HTML file. So we all know what is a skeleton of an HTML file. This is my first session, though I have little knowledge about JS. I am using Visual Studio Code. You can do it, Mayuk. You can use Visual Studio, or you can use Sublime Text, any editor you can use. Okay, so depending upon the ease, if you are familiar with Visual Studio, you can go with it. Okay, same, I have only learned Java and C++. No worries, I'm going to explain each and everything. With time you will get to know how to include these things. Okay, so now let's see our first HTML file. I will explain each and every step, right? So first is the Doctype HTML. Where can you get these kind of stuff, right? So let me show you quickly in Sublime Text. The more powerful your editor is, more easier it gets to do stuff, right? So now I have created one new file, right? I will zoom it a little bit. So it's an empty file. Now first thing that I do, I will save it, right? I will save it. Let's suppose let me call it first.html. okay, first.html. Then I will press enter. Now this is the first file. Okay, great. So now I'm using Sublime Text. Don't worry, you can use whatever you want. Okay, now I will write HTML. That's it. So now it depends upon which editor you use or how powerful your editor is. Okay, so if I pressed a simple tab, you see this is the skeleton that I will get. This will be present in each and every web page that you see on the internet. The skeleton of that page will be this. Now it will be containing more files, right? More elements, right? There will be number of elements will be what let's suppose 100 elements will be there. In this file we have only 6 to 7 elements, right? What do you mean by elements? This the whole syntax, right? Let me write a title here. Let's suppose I will write home. So this complete, this I will highlight this for you. This complete title, then the name of the title, that means whatever will be in our tab section, right? So this is a complete HTML element. Okay, now what you mean by tags? These are tags: title tag, head tag, HTML tag, right? These are all tags. Now let me go back to our slides and explain each and every. Okay, as sir, AWS website can control. Okay, please reply, sir. AWS. So actually, Blaster, I am not familiar with AWS. Maybe in the maybe AWS will be covered in future sessions. You will once you have subscribed to our channel, you will get all the notifications in the community panel. Okay, you will get notified that this is we are doing at this time we are doing this live session. You will get notified. Okay, so you don't worry. Right now, let's try to focus on this. Okay, quick. So now, what is this Doctype HTML? This will let the user, the browser know, okay, this is the version that I'm going to use in this HTML file. This is the version of this HTML file. Okay, this is this came after HTML file. So if you don't understand anything, the skeleton will remain same. Okay, you don't have to worry. So then we have HTML tag. This is the root tag. Okay, then in that root tag, everything will come in that root tag. Okay, if you have HTML, then you have HTML tag, right? So in HTML tag, you will have title tag. This, whatever you write in this HTML, in this head tag, will be displayed. This text will never be displayed on your web page. Okay, this is something that is all the information that is related to this document. Let's suppose who built this document, the author of this document, what are your script files, what are your CSS files, all those files will be included in this head portion. Okay, I'm just giving you all of you the idea regarding to it. The app we will be able to create our app in just maybe 20-30 minutes, but to get each and every one of you on the same page, I'm just iterating or explaining you a little bit about each and everything, like a little bit of CSS, little bit of HTML, little bit of JavaScript, little bit of Jquery, so that we are all on the same page. Okay, great. So now this is what a head tag is. Then we have a body tag, right? In this body tag, whatever we write, each and everything will be displayed in our web page. Okay, great. So if we write anything in it, it will be displayed on our web page. And you can also add scripts in the body tag or also in the head tag. Now, what is the difference between this? If I'm adding script in my head tag and if I'm adding script in my body tag, can anyone of you tell me in the chat section quickly what will be the effect of it? Can anyone, if it the JavaScript file will be rendered earlier than our content, or it will not be rendered? Because I just said whatever we write, anything we write in the head section will never be displayed. Any one of you guys quickly in the chat section, quickly guys. So will that be displayed if I'm writing my script in my head tag? Yes, it will be displayed before the content, right? The script tag will be displayed, right? Let's suppose if you have written in your script file, right? Your JS file contains, let's suppose, alert message, right? It will be displayed before your anything content loads on your web page, right? Whatever is in the body, before it loads, before that is loaded, your script will be loaded. Okay, yes, it will have an effect. And if it's at in the body part, and at the end of this, if let's suppose there is something written in here, okay, now at the last line of your body tag is the script tag. Let's suppose I have written script tag here. Okay, so this will be rendered after each and every one of these statements are executed. Okay, one second guys. Okay, great. So now let's see this. Let's go back to our slides. So now if you see, so Doctype HTML, then we have HTML elements, right? Then we have HTML tag, then we have head tag, and in that head tag we have this title tag which contains to-do list of playing 11. So we are going to create a list of players who are going to participate in an IPL match. Okay, let's suppose, right, we will create let's suppose is HTML language is called no, HTML is a different thing. It's a language that defines the structure of a page. What do you mean by this thing? This is our HTML. Okay, it defines the structure of a page. Now whatever you do on that page, right, whatever you do on that page, let's suppose you are clicking on something, you are toggling between the classes, right, that you can do with the help of what? JavaScript. So basically JavaScript, if noun is the HTML, right, everything that you specify is the noun. Let's suppose that noun is called HTML, then all the actions, the verb is called the HTML. Okay, got it? This is the most naive example. But you say, so what is a meta tag? So meta tag is nothing, right, in the command doctype HTML. So meta tag means information about the page. Okay, so meta means information, data about data. Okay, this is what a definition of a meta is: information about information, data about data. So whatever you're writing on the page, information of that page, that comes in your meta tag. All these things, anchor tags or author of your page, all those things, whatever the extra information regarding this page, that comes in the meta tag. Okay, so now let's see how, whatever, can anyone quickly tell me what is the use of title tag here? Okay, what is the use of this title tag? Muyok, Ritika, Santa, quickly guys. Pratik, what is the use of this title tag? Let's suppose I will go in my Google, okay, and I will try to find something. Okay, let's suppose MDN elements. So Suraj says, why use meta tag? So basically Suraj, this is not you are thinking what you are thinking. You are thinking about that you're creating this page and this page will be limited to you only, right? You're creating this page. Why do you need these extra information? Let's suppose you're working for some company, right? So at that time you're sharing your code and you want to know the end user or the developers, the fellow developers of yours, that you have created this page. So you will use that information, that meta tag, to let the developer know, okay, this is the thing that we have to use, right? Similar thing that we do in the, right? Similarly you can do it for other so similarly that thing can be applied by other web developers, right? So all those extra information can be added with the help of meta tags. And also you can include your own there is much more to this meta tag. I'm not going into that, but you can do a lot of things. This is one simple definition, one simple thing that you can do with the help of meta tags for defining a page of a content, right? Let's suppose, you see, I search for MDN elements. Now I got this link. So when I click on this link, you see this is the same name that came up in here, elements web API MDN. When I search, this is the name. So when whatever I write in the title comes up in the tab, and that means whatever is in our title section is this line. What we have here is the title, will be the title of this page, okay, of this developer.mozilla.org, that this page title will be, this web page title will be elements-web API MDN. Okay, great. So now let's go back to our slides. Let me minimize it. So now we have a title placed, okay, to do list of playing 11. Okay, then we have a body tag. In that body tag we have a div. Okay, what do you mean by this div? Let's in the most naive or simple way one can understand of a div, what we can understand what is this div is nothing but a container, and everything that we just put into this container, we'll just we'll just dump everything in this container. Okay, everything that you have to do, we will dump this in this container, so that if you want to add something, let's suppose you are adding some styles to this, whatever the elements are there in this container, you can add them directly. Let's suppose if this div was not present, what will happen? Now you want to change the text color of this heading one, that is to-do list. You want to change the text color of this. Similarly, you want to do the same for the LIs that are present in the unordered list, right? These are list items: KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, Glenn Maxwell. You want to change the content of all these. You want to change the text color of all these elements. So what you have to do, you have to follow a procedure, right? You have to one by one select this element and add the add the color property, right? Color attribute. Similarly for all the three LIs. But a smarter way, what is the smarter way? You just dump everything in this div, that is this div tag, and just add color property to that div tag. It will be automatically added to all these. It will be implied for all these tags. Well, at the end, what is the gist of this thing is that if you have a div, it will help you in styling, and it is used mostly to style your elements. And this is the best use of what? A div tag, to add styles. Okay, it acts as a container, and whatever the styles that you apply on this div will be applied to all the things that are present in this div. Okay, any questions until this point? Anything with Ari says, okay sir, okay, give the title of the HTML web page. Yes, exactly. Mickey says the title, defining the web page. Great. Yeah, any questions until this point? Quickly guys. Yes, no, maybe. Should I move ahead? So in nutshell, whatever we write in the div, it will be easier for us later on when we move along in our code. It will be easier for us to change the styles of it. Okay, similar thing is done with the help of span tag, but the only difference between a div tag and a span tag is that one of them is inline. Which is inline? Span tag is inline element. That means it will take whatever is the space required. Okay, great, no questions. Great. So now, any questions regarding this web page? Is this structure of this HTML page that I have shown you, is this clear? What a UL tag is, right? Let me show you quickly. Let's suppose this was our home page, right? And we saved it on our desktop, I guess. Let me see it. One second, guys. Yeah, we have it placed here. Let me open it. It contains nothing as expected because this is empty. Now this contains only this script tag which is not linked to anything, right? Now let's remove this, and now let me show you quickly what do you mean by this div. So we have a div tag, and inside the div tag I will create an unordered list, and in my unordered list I have several list items. Let's suppose one is this, and then we have this. Let's suppose it contains cricket. Let's suppose we are putting down the list of hobbies: football, cricket, and tennis, right? Let's save this file and let me show you what it looks like. So this is the thing that we have created, the list of hobbies. So okay, sir, I'm not able to see live session with face. So yeah, this live session doesn't contain any face, so you won't be able to see this. This is only the screen that you are seeing, that I am seeing on the YouTube channel. So it is that, so you don't have to worry about. Okay sir, everything is clear. Great Shiv. Okay, now this is what you do, how you perform this list, operation. Okay, now we have created this div tags. You might be thinking, sir, what is the use of this div tag? Let's suppose we don't have this div tag. Okay, now I want to change the color property of all these football, and I want to change the text color. So we have something color, right? So let me put a global attribute color. Okay, so basically this is a way you can add global. This is a global attribute, so each and every tag has this property of style. Okay, attribute style, and that style, what I'm changing color. Okay, and the color is red, right? Let's save this file and let's see if I have changed it. You see the text color has been changed. Similarly, I want to do the same thing for all the rest of the LIs. As you can see, I need to write it again, and this time I want this to be green, or I want to change the same name, same red. I have to write it again, and same goes for this. I have to write it again, right? I have to write it again and again. So now I have to write this again and again. Let's suppose some of you might be thinking, sir, if we write this here, then it will also do the same thing. Let me show you that first. Okay, 1 minute. So some of you might be thinking, sir, you have showed this way, maybe we can add it to the UL tag, right? So that will also do the same thing, right? Because UL will act as a div tag here. Let's change this thing here, and let's remove this thing. Right, you might be thinking why we have written this 3 times when we can write it over the UL tag. Let's change this thing and let's run this thing again. You see, no change. But what if there is another UL tag, or let's suppose there is another paragraph tag, right? P tag, in that we have lorem, this paragraph we have here, right? And in that paragraph, let me close this paragraph, right? And now I have to add this style again. So again, am I going to write this style tag again here, so that this, and now there will be more than 5 elements. Let's suppose there are more elements in it, in this body tag. Now am I going to add this style property to all of them? No, this is a naive approach, right? This is something when you don't know how to add styles, you do this stuff. Okay, now the better way is to add a div tag up here, right? And then add this property, right? Add this property and close this in here. Okay, now we have closed our div. 1 second, we closed our div tag. Okay, so this is closed, and we save our file. We go back, and you see each and every element, whatever the elements were in this div, we were successfully able to change the color, text color of those. Okay, got it? So this is one simple definition of how to use a div tag. Okay, now let's continue. Now you got this point, right? This HTML page is there. Now let's see how will it look without CSS. Okay, this HTML page of ours. Okay, now okay, this is our HTML page. Where is it? Yeah, so now this is our todo.html. okay, let's put a title in here. What? Punjab playing 11. Okay, now I have added some these lines of code. Let me just comment it out for you for now, that I'm not applying any CSS. Okay, UL tag means what? It means unordered list. Okay, so you see, if you might have observed the output, that there is no numbering on this. There is only a button, what do you call this, a radio button kind of a symbol, right? This dot sign. Now this means unordered. Now if you have if we have written this thing in our HTML page, what? Just by replacing this unordered by ordered list, OL. Okay, by ordered list. Okay, now let's save this file, and now let's run this. Now you see 1 2 3 4. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, this means we have some specific order to these series of events. Okay, great. Now let's go back to our page. Now we don't need this. Let's remove this from now. Now let's see. So now let me just how do you write a comment? You just put exclamatory mark, then you press double hyphens, and then hyphen, and then back. So now you see I have commented out these links and all the script tags and all the CSS that I have applied, and I just have what? In my head tag there is only title, that is Punjab playing 11. What is the playing 11 of Punjab? And then we have head tag close. Then we have body tag, and inside the body tag I am writing a container ID, right? You have 3 ways with you. Sir, if you're not able, if we not able to close the style color I didn't get your point, Mickey. What you're trying to say? Can you please rephrase your sentence? What you're trying to do? What you're trying to say? So we have a div tag which contains id. That means we are going to apply css with the help of this id. Okay, and then we have a head tag which contains list of players, and then we also have an input, right, with whose type is text, and the placeholder in which we are going to add our players one by one. For now, in our list we have only 3 players, right? Who are those? We have KL Rahul, we have Mayank Agarwal, we have Glenn Maxwell. That our coach is for sure that he is going to include these 3 players in our playing 11. But after that, we are going to add and maybe remove some players depending upon their performance. Okay, so that we will do in the later part of this session. Okay, for now, we are just focusing on what? The HTML. Yes, Arpit, we can give IDs, classes. Those are used for applying CSS. Okay, Arpit, for CSS, applying CSS on any of these tags, we can apply what? We can use IDs and classes. Okay, these are selectors. So why I'm doing this? You might be thinking, Arpit. So why we are doing this? Why we are doing this? Because what HTML was for earlier, it was just to add what? Just to give structure to your web page. But later on, we were able to add CSS also in it, right? But now, right now we are in such an era that each and everything has to be at its own place. Now HTML defines the structure, so we are going to only define structure in our HTML page. If you want to add a CSS on that web page, you need a separate file, and you want to add a JavaScript on that HTML page, you must have a separate JavaScript file. This means separation of concerns. Okay, Arpit? So that is why we are going to use these IDs, these classes, these element tags, with the help of which we will select one element and then apply some CSS on it. Okay, and maybe some JavaScript as well. Okay, so now this means this is why we are doing this, because of separation of concerns. Whatever we have concern with our HTML file, do HTML stuff in your HTML file. If you want to add styles, do that styling stuff in your CSS file. If you want to add some JavaScript, do it in a separate file. Okay, got it, Arpit? Okay, great. So now, yes, it will be uploaded today. So that's why I won't be focusing that much on the JavaScript part. But yes, we will be having sir is to do just a separate file that we need to create. Yes, separate files. All these files will be separate. Okay, script file is different, is an individual file. CSS file is a different file, and HTML file is an individual file. So let me remove for now. Let's focus on this today. Shiv, today we are going to upload a full course that is of 11 hours on JavaScript. Go check it out. After it will be uploaded at 6:30 today, 6:30 p.m. Okay, so now I will just remove this, and then I will just remove what I have removed, each and everything, right? So now whatever I have told you, I have just applied only that thing. I have removed CSS, and I have removed what? The script part from it. Okay, now let's go back and let's check. You see what is the playing 11? Let me just remove these files. Okay, now let's see. Let's refresh this. Now you see what is the title of this? Punjab playing 11. Now whatever is written here is the h1 tag that we wrote, and it contains list of players. Okay, now whatever this x sign is, forget it for now. Don't focus on this. We are going to use these x signs to remove a player. Okay, we are going to use this x signs to remove a player. I have written it with the help of span tag. Why span tag? So that I can select it. Okay, so that's why a span tag is there. So now whatever, if let's suppose I don't know if Pujara is in playing 11 or not, or even if he is in Punjab, that's Kings 11 Punjab, right? Let's suppose I want to add that player in here, Punjab, no sorry, Pujara. I don't know if he plays or not. So let's suppose I want to add it. Now once I enter, nothing happens. Why? Because this is just a structure. It defines structure. There is no CSS, there is no JavaScript. It is just an HTML file. So whatever we want to do, we will add one by one. We add CSS, then we will add JavaScript to this file. Okay, so it is clear, right? Now you see all these signs and all those things. Okay, now you see the list, unordered list that we use, right? The head tag and this placeholder, add player. Let's suppose you add let's suppose you add Punjab player, right? So this will be the placeholder and it will act as a guideline to you, whatever you are trying to write. Okay, so now let's refresh this. You see, add Punjab player. So you can only add Punjab players. I mean to say, you can add any player, but yeah, it will give you some kind of a guideline. Okay, please add Punjab players. We are creating a Punjab team here. Okay, great. So now this is only HTML. Now let's see how to add CSS to it. Okay, so now before we add CSS, right? So today what we are going to build, this is all about HTML file. So HTML is little bit what you need to know stuff, but CSS, it comes with whatever you want to build or whatever the styling you want to add. There is no limit to it, but in HTML there is a limit, right? You only have specific set of elements and tags that you are going to deal with, but with CSS it comes with whatever your requirement is. So we are going to lay a little bit less focus on our CSS. We're just going to see how to add things, because it completely depends on what you're trying to build. Let's suppose you're trying to build a hut. So you need colors, you need background, you need windows. For that, then you are going to color those windows, right? It depends upon what you're trying to build, right? So it is completely what are your needs. Okay, so if you give some well prepared and well defined 5 to 6 programs with programming and result the frame. If you give some well prepared and well defined 5 to 6 programs with programming with the result, you are talking about what? CSS is the design and layout of the HTML page. Yeah, you can say Cedrus says CSS is a design. Yeah, if you want to add styles to your HTML page, HTML just defines the structure of your page, and you want to add styles, you use CSS. Okay, so now if you see, I'm not going to talk about CSS. First I'm going to talk about script. I'm going to add the script tag. Okay, the script tag has been added here. And what is this script tag? I will lay little bit of light on this. Now the script tag that so now what I'm going to use is a jQuery. Okay, what is this jQuery and what is the script tag? Right, now let's see something related to it. Okay, so now this HTML file is clear. Now let's see, this was the output that we got, right? Now a jQuery is nothing but it is a JavaScript library. Whatever you want to do, sir, next session on CSS and PHP development. Sure, Santa. So whatever is this jQuery is nothing but a JavaScript library. Whatever you want to do with the help of JavaScript, which may include 10 to 15 lines, let's suppose, which may include much more lines than jQuery, will be done in an easier way. You just have to use some maybe 2-3 lines of code with the help of jQuery. Okay, so it's a powerful JavaScript library. It helps us to manipulate the DOM. Okay, and it's very easy to manipulate DOM. We will see how we are going to lay a little bit of light on this jQuery, because that is not our main objective. I'm going to tell you only those things which I'm going to use. Okay, we will have a separate session on jQuery as well as on Bootstrap. Okay, don't worry. CSS, we will try to do a CSS session as well. Okay, HTML session has been done earlier, right? JavaScript, we will get to know today at 6:30 the whole concept about JavaScript. It is going to be there. Okay, so now we are sorted for now, at least. So selecting elements, then manipulating them, changing styles, adding elements, these are some list of some properties or some features that jQuery allows us to do. Okay, it is nothing but a JavaScript library. What is a library? Basically, library is nothing but a code written from maybe you or your friend, and you're just going to use that code inside your project. That is what a library means. Let's suppose I have created some complex program, okay, and it contains many features, and I'm adding style CSS to it and adding HTML file. There's an HTML file, there's a CSS, there's a JavaScript in it, and then I did it, and I utilized 10-20 hours of time, and I built this project. Okay, now you wanted to do the same stuff. Why you're going to go through all the pain for 20 hours and come up with that solution that what I did? Instead, you will use that project, and you will use that library, right, and add it in your project so that you can also do the same thing. Okay, so which framework is better, React or Node.js? It is completely dependent on you, sure, but according to me, React is much more. It's React is not a framework. React is also a library of JavaScript, right? And Node.js is a framework, right? So your voice is echoing, voice is coming, making echo. Now it's okay. Okay. So is it okay or not? Now is my voice clear or not? Quickly, guys. Yes, no, maybe. I will change. Yes, no, maybe. DOM is nothing, Kangna. DOM means document object model. So everything on your HTML page is an object, right? And to access each and every element, what happens when you want to access those elements, it is okay. No, sir. Is everything, is my voice still echoing? Guys, quickly, we are running out of time. Is it okay or not? Is it echoing, sir? Now clear. Great. Great, Krishan. Okay. Okay. So we are, I am seeing no echo. Okay, great. So now, what Kangna says, what is a DOM? What is meant by DOM? DOM is nothing but everything in your HTML page, all the elements will be changed, or there will be let's suppose DOM contains something that is known as document, right? And that document is the root element of all of your HTML, all your HTML page. So if you want to select any element with the help of what, let's suppose you want to select this paragraph tag, so it will act as an object. Okay, this DOM will be explained in your JavaScript course that is going to be released just after 1 hour. Okay, so you don't worry if you're not clear with DOM. I will still give you a brief idea about what a DOM is. It is nothing but to select an element on an HTML page. Every element acts as an object, and if you want to select that element, you need a document object. So now after that document object, you write document dot get element by ID. So that ID which we used earlier, and IDs and classes, if you want to select those, you have to go through this series of events. Okay, this series of statements, right? What is that? Document is the whole root of that HTML page, and then document dot object and document dot get element by ID, get class names, get elements, all those we have. So and that is the pain that we have when we use JavaScript. Now jQuery is the library through which we can skip through that pain. Okay, we don't have to go through that pain using document dot object and all those things. We will have a smart, quicker way with the help of jQuery. Now, how to include this jQuery in our HTML or in our JavaScript file? Okay, so the first way is that you go into jquery.com and you download it. Let me show you how it is done. There are two ways, so you decide for yourself which one is better. Okay, you just go into what okay, you just go into jQuery, okay, .com. Okay, then once it is opened, okay, jquery.com, you go into downloads. Okay, this is you download, and then you enter this link, this production, download the compressed production jQuery 3.5. okay, so now you might be thinking, what is this jQuery production, jQuery 3.5.1? So this is a compressed file, and whatever the functions that you are going to use, just like a library. Let's suppose you are having some you might be having some any programming language experience. Let's talk about C. You include hash.studio.conio, right? And studio, you include studio files, you include conio file. And in Java you include what, let's suppose not a package, it is an inbuilt package, right? Java.lang. Or util package, you include util package, so that you can full form, sir, document object model or document object manipulation. Okay, this is the full form of DOM. Okay, so now what is this? Where was I? Okay, okay. So okay, so now where was I? So this jQuery, right? Once you have downloaded it, all right, and after that, this production.jQuery is nothing but a compressed file. Let me open it. Right, if I open uncompressed file, so this compressed file is minified, so everything you will see the when all the variable names will be smaller, right? It will be variable if something is bigger. Now you see, if this page is something that is written, each and everything is written in a single line. This is what a compressed minified version looks like. And this is uncompressed. You see, everything is in a good form, right? Like we write programs, right? This is obviously, this is much more readable, right? This is much more readable as compared to this minified version. So if you want, you can download any of these files, right? And once you have downloaded, you will store this file in the same location where your HTML file is. Once you do that, then you will include it in with the help of script tag. Now what is the main objective of including it in our script tag? Like I said, if you want to use that system.out.println, right, or you want to use printf statements, scanf statements, c in, c out statements, you don't write the code for that, right? You don't write the code, you just you just include that library in your file. Same way, we are going to include this library, this whatever is this jQuery library, so that we can use some of the properties that are present in this library. Simple. Got it? Got the point, right, guys? Just give me a quick confirmation, yes, no, maybe. Quickly, guys. We are running out of time. Quickly, I'm waiting for your response. So these two files, once you have downloaded, is one way, and then you include that file in your JS file. Okay, now the second way is that you just open it and copy this URL, what I copied, right? And then include this in your document. Likewise, I have did this http document.jquery 3.5. I just included this. Okay, this is the URL. This is one way. This means that we are going to use the CDN, that is content delivery network, or content distributed network, right? So this is what a CDN means. This means simple, just like we are copying something from the online, this is the online thing, this is hosted by someone else. So we are going to use whatever he hosted and he put it online, and we are just using it, and just by copy pasting this file and including in our HTML file, we are actually we don't download it, we just copy paste it and place it in our script file, in our HTML file. Okay, got it? We have removed the pain of downloading and then including it in our same local machine. Obviously, whatever is in your local machine will be faster as compared to this. Okay, now this is how you include your jQuery. Okay, so first is that production and development. Production is minified and compressed file. Development is more readable and uncompressed. We saw that. Then we link it with the help of CDN. It is easier and simpler, the way we showed, just by copy pasting the URL, and we copy paste the URL, and it's less faster as compared to something that we downloaded and is in our machine. Obviously that will be faster, right? So this is how you include the jQuery, right? So this is the file path once we have included the jQuery. So you don't have to worry about how you will get the code. You just in the end, I have three separate documents. One is HTML file, one is CSS file, another is JavaScript file. All these files are included in your slides. Okay, just cut those slides and print it. Just copy paste those slides. Okay, that's it. And once you have the document, slide decks, just copy paste all these things and club them together. Okay, great. So this is our HTML file, final HTML file with the help of this. Now what we did, we added some CSS to it and some JavaScript file. Okay, so now what we will do, just a minute, guys. Okay, so now what we will do, we will add our CSS file, and after that we are going to add our script file. Now we will talk about these two files quickly. Okay, we added our JavaScript file and this file. Okay, done. So we have 37 live. Okay, no problem. Okay, now let's see what a CSS file is. So first we will select our HTML first header one, h1 tag, right? And then we change its color. We have changed its color, and then you just focus on one thing. You see, earlier, what was our file without HTML, without CSS? This was our file without CSS. Now let's see how our file looks after CSS. Okay, so this is background color. We changed it. We changed its text color. We margined it, padding on all those things. Text form. So text transform. What does it mean? Whatever is the content in the h1 tag, it will be transformed to uppercase. Even if something is written in lowercase, it will be transformed to uppercase. Then font size, font weight. Okay, then ul tag, this list hyphen style, what does it mean? And it is hyphen equal to none, so it is none. So that means the in the unordered list or in ordered list, you will get those 1 2 3, right? The list one item, that 1 2 3. So if you don't want that 1 2 3 in your file, right, in your HTML, in your website or on your website, you just use list style hyphen that colon sign none. Okay, then margin 0, padding 0. Okay, now then we have li tags. Each and every individual li, the color of those is FFF. Okay, CDN full form, content delivery network. Okay, Santa. Then height, line height, then color. Then this li nth, you see li hyphen that colon nth of type. What does this do? Then I have written even. Okay, what does this do? This is something, let me show you first when I include this file. So this is the output, right? This is the output once I will include this CSS file. Okay, 1 minute. So let me just remove the last script file. Yeah, so now let me save it and let me run this file first. So just jQuery part is over. Let me remove. Now let's see. Once we add CSS to it, now you see, if you observe carefully, I don't know if it is visible to you guys. Let me maximize it a bit more. You see, this KL Rahul is having white background, and this Mayank Agarwal is having gray background. I don't know if it is visible, but once you will run it on your own system, it will be visible to you guys. Okay, now if you see this, all this stuff that is we only have implied CSS on it. Okay, we haven't still implied what? JavaScript. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, if you want to add, nothing is happening. We are not able to add anything. Okay, so now that will be the feature of jQuery. Okay, so now this hover and all those things, once I click on it, once I move over it, okay, this is all CSS. Okay, this is all CSS. Now let's see CSS one by one. Okay, where were we? Okay, yeah, here. So now let's see. So this is the thing that I was telling you, that KL Rahul was white background and Mayank Agarwal has white background, and KL Rahul had gray background. So all the even elements, all the list elements with even number will have a background of gray. Okay, this F7 is gray. Okay, you can also put gray. So now the span tag. The span tag that we have, right? We had it in our list items, right? The span tag, that cross sign that we used, right? So we have it is having some background color, height, right? Align text center. We have color, white, width, all those things. This is nothing but just to look it beautiful. You can remove all those things, then add one by one and see the difference. Okay. So transition, this is the most important. Transition means once I click over it, how quickly does it remove? Okay, that transition must be slow. So that's why 0.2. Okay, 0.2 of a second. So it will be little bit slower. Okay, that inline block means that everything will be inline and it will contain its width and height. Okay, this is the span tag. Then when I hover over it, you see that rotation. Then once I was moving over this, that hovering, when I was moving over it, you see that content was getting bold, right? The width was changing, right? So input, and then when I focus on it, this is the thing that happens. So this is all the CSS you will apply one by one, and this is not something that can be taught, or this is not something that you have to use explicitly. You can use your own styles. Okay, this is the style that I use just to look so content looks good. So this padding is nothing, you know about the box model, right? So the box model states that content, and the difference between the content and the border is called padding, and the and if you are having two text boxes, the difference between those two text boxes is called nothing but a margin. Okay, so background color, width, padding, box sizing. Okay, so all of these. This box sizing, why I have used this box sizing border box? So because this input is outside that li items, so I want them to be aligned in same line. Okay, so that's why if you remove this thing, box sizing border box, you will see that this box will come out of its shape. Okay, let me show you quickly, because this is some interesting features of this. So now let's suppose I have removed what, this border boxing. Let me just remove this thing, save this file. Now you see how output changes. You see, this is our output. Now I am reloading this. Yeah, you see this gray portion is outside. If it is visible to you guys, I don't know if it is visible. You see this gray portion is out. You see this gray portion. So PDF is shared with you, Shiv. Don't worry about it. If it is not, after the session is uploaded, it will be shared with you. Okay, don't worry. You see the gray section is out. Now, in order to get this gray section aligned with the list items, what I used border boxing. Okay, this box sizing, what, border box. Okay, now this is all the CSS that I have used, then the container, and then this completed. Once it is completed, that means once I will click on it, it will get a strike through it. Okay, so after that it will be, yeah, so this upload, this will be uploaded. Yeah, okay, yeah, this session will be uploaded, don't worry. Okay, so now this is the thing that we have. Okay, you need to subscribe to the channel as well, so that you will get all the message, all the things that we have uploaded so far. Okay, all the sessions. So this is this, and let me save this file. Now let's see how our final JavaScript, including CSS and HTML, how our file looks like. Okay, this is our file. Okay, this is our final output. Okay, just that. Okay, so now let's include our JavaScript file. Now in our HTML file, let me remove these comments. Okay, so we are done, and we have removed these comments. And let's save this file, and now let's check our final file. So now this is our full-fledged final file. This looks similar, but now let's see. I can strike through it, right? That means KL Rahul is not playing today. If you want to strike through it, you can do it. But if you want to remove it, you can. Now you see that transition happened. This is what transition, that CSS transition will is able to do. We are able to do this stuff with the help of that transition, 0.2 seconds. Okay, now Mayank Agarwal is not playing, right? Sir, odd instead of even. Yes, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so now let's suppose Mayank Agarwal is not playing, then later you decide, okay, he is playing, you can click on it again. That is where completed will come into picture. Okay, now let's suppose you said Pujara is playing, you add Pujara. Okay, Pujara has been added. Now you said, okay, Rahul is also playing, KL Rahul is also playing. Okay, so you added Rahul. So now if you see, once I will click over it, it gets, you see, whenever I click on this input box, it changes, its border gets changed, right? So all of these properties, we were able to imply all these properties with the help of our CSS file. Okay, so input focus, you see input focus, background color, border color 3 pixels 2890. This is how we were able to change the border once we click on that. Okay, so this is all CSS. Now let's see the final JavaScript file, how it looks. Okay, so now you see, after that, once we click on that any list item, you see that it states that we are right. If you see the comment, check the specific to-dos by clicking. So now we are checking, okay, this list item is not playing, this player is not playing, we strike through it, so its class gets changed to what, completed. What do you mean by this thing? Let me show you. Okay, so let me reload this thing quickly. Okay, let me do Control Shift N or right click, or Control Shift I or Control or right shift this console. Okay, now whatever we do here, we will be able to see it here. Okay, Okay, let me just minimize it first. Now let's see. You see in this. Now once I will strike through it. Okay, now let's see where do we get this completed. Okay, you see there is a class included. Was this class included earlier? No, this was not included. Now if I click on this again, you see this class got changed again. There is nothing completed. No class is written that is having completed, right? So if you click on this Mayank Agarwal, you see completed. This to-do list is being completed. This to-do list is not playing. You can write any text. I have write completed. Okay, so this is the thing. And once again you will press on this completed gets changed. Now where did you get this? In our CSS file, if you observe carefully, we had something as completed. Let me go into our CSS file. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, you see this container and this completed. So once it is completed, it will turn to gray, and text decoration is a line through. That means you will get a line through over your text. Okay, 1 minute, and you see we have this, and once we have done, you see its color gets changed. Its text color is changed to gray, and it will get a strike through. That is with the help of CSS. Now how to use the same stuff on JavaScript? You will use with the help of Jquery. So to select anything, you will use $sign. Okay, we'll get a separate session on Jquery, don't worry. Just for now, to select anything, you will have to use $sign, and then to select whatever the selector you are selecting. This time we are selecting the UL tag. All of these were unordered list items, right? This KL Rahul, these were all unordered list items. So we selected our selector. Our selector is unordered list, and then we applied an event on it on click. This is the name of the event, and then on that event we are having a list item that has been selected. So we call this anonymous function on whatever has been clicked. Okay, we selected that, we toggled it, and we applied, we included this completed class on it. Once we have included this class on it, it will get the properties of that class. What? A strike through, and its text will be changed to gray, right guys? Okay, great. So this is how we do toggle. Now once we have clicked on that X button, right, that we created in our HTML page, this X button, once we click on it, it gets removed. So how do we do it? In JavaScript, in Jquery rather, which is nothing but a JavaScript library, right? So once you clicked on that UL, again you clicked on it, you have a span. That's why we use the span, so that we can select it. And then we have a function which takes argument as an event. So with the help of this event, or even if you don't use it, so every function, anonymous function, will have every event listener has an event object associated with it. Okay, so even if you don't use it, it doesn't matter. Okay, we haven't used we haven't used it in our function, right? So now what we have, we just faded out that element, right? We fade it out slowly. This whatever is written here is the seconds that it took to fade. Okay, so it is half of the 1000 means 1 second, it is half a second. Okay, so parent dot then fade out, and then remove it. Slowly fade it, then remove it. Let's see. Slowly it will strike through it, and then slowly it will fade it out, and then it will remove it. Let me add one more player. So you see, slowly it will remove it. Okay, first strike through, add the completed because completed was done, and then it will fade it out, and then it will remove it. Okay, this is done with this. Okay, great, done. And then the final thing, how do you add a player? That is, we have an input text field, right, whose type is text, that we have at the top, right, after the list of players, where we add. Once we press an enter key, after that an event gets called, and the ASCII value, or the value of that key press in Jquery, is referred to 13. That means when the event when the key is pressed, if it is equal to 13, we grab whatever is in the input text. Okay, that text, whatever, let's suppose where we put it Pujara. Okay, so after that we created a variable, and we stored that variable. In that variable we stored that value, and we added that value In that we appended that value in the form of unordered list and added x to it, just like we did. Okay, so this is kind of a tricky if you don't know jQuery, but we will have a separate class. For now, if you don't know anything, just Google it out. Okay, get a detailed explanation what it does. Okay, for now I have explained each and everything. Okay guys, so this is what our jQuery file looks like. So how we are able to use these click all these events, right, on and this key press with the help of what, this script tag that we added, this jQuery that we added at the beginning. Okay, we used CDN approach. We picked a link from the internet and added it in our HTML file. Okay guys, so that is it from today's session. Thank you so much guys. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Okay, so if you have any questions, is the completed class built-in class of jQuery? No, completed is not a built-in class. It is something that we defined. Okay, so it is defined by us in this. If you have observed carefully in our script, in our CSS file, right, this CSS file, this completed, you have created a class, and on that class we are toggling between that class. Okay, so this is not inbuilt. Okay, you can write anything. This is not completed. Let's suppose you wrote COMP, and then we will change this to COMP so that it will apply it. Okay, just a minute guys. Yeah, so we just saved these files, all of these, and then we will run this file. Done. Remove this, add it. See, nothing. That's completed is not an inbuilt class. Okay, so quickly guys, any questions? So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to conclude this session. Okay guys, all right, just closing all these things. If you don't have any questions, okay, session for CSS, yes, we are going to have a session, Mayuk, on CSS, on jQuery, JavaScript. You will be notified today. We are going to upload. So we need a complete written program with explanation and result. So this will be what kind of a program are you looking for? If you're looking for this program, this application that we built, it is present in your slides. Okay, don't worry. So when it will be the class on jQuery, we will take a session on jQuery as well. Don't worry. Okay, jQuery, Bootstrap, everything will be completed. Okay, and an individual session on CSS as well. Okay guys, so thank you so much guys. Thanks a lot. So completed. No, Salil, I already told you that this is not an inbuilt class completed. Okay, I just changed the name and nothing happened, right? So it is just the name of the class that I'm going to use. That's it. Okay, so okay guys, thank you so much. I am just concluding my session. All right, thanks a lot guys.